Okay, so we have two amazing speakers to guide us through this conversation today. First, I'm so excited to introduce you to Jam Anderson. Jam is the driving force behind Jam AI, dedicated to making AI easy and accessible for everyone. With 20 years of success in traditional marketing, she quickly recognized the power of AI and jumped right in. Now, Jam is all about turning AI complexity into clarity, helping business leaders, entrepreneurs, and marketing pros harness AI without the hassle. Known for her ability to simplify even the most complicated concepts, she is the expert you need to guide you through all of the AI landscape so you can focus on what you love. And she obviously used her AI assistants to write this. Hope you liked it. Hey, Jam.
Hi, so glad to be here.
Wonderful to have you. And next we have Luis Ramos. Has almost over 10 years, over 10 years of experience mentoring entrepreneurs, building teams, and creating processes needed to launch successful businesses. He has advised more than 1,000 businesses from idea to reaching their goals in both Spanish and English. Wonderful to have you here, Luis.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Brittany. And welcome, everyone.
Yes, welcome everyone. Okay, so I see some questions in the chat. You are going to get this recording if you're just joining us. And I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it over to Jam to start taking us through this content.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful intro. And I'm so happy to be here. Just sharing my screen. And just so everybody knows, I know that I'm sharing windows because I'm hoping to do some live presentation elements today. That's only backfired a couple times in my speaking engagement. So let's all just pray to the internet to keep us up today. Well, thank you for joining. Just being here, you've made a big commitment to understanding new technology. And for a lot of us, that can be really scary. Change is scary. But as we have noticed, AI is everywhere. It's in our news, it's in our TV, it's all up in my email, it's even inside of my kids' toys at this point. So when it started coming out 3, 4 years ago, I just decided that it's better that I understand every single aspect of it than be afraid of it. So thank you again for joining today. My name is Robin Anderson, but my friends call me Jam, so now you can too. I've been in the agency world for the past 20 years. So building websites, building e-commerce websites, digital marketing, video production. If it's online and helps you grow, I've been doing it. And again, when I saw AI tools coming out, I was just shocked at the amount of things that I could do quicker than ever before. I've seen people spend 6 figures and a year on creating company personas or creating content calendars. And seeing all of this new technology come and just go ahead and do it for us and almost do it better has been so exciting that I had to shout it from the rooftops. So my story of how I started Jam AI is I was running a sales team at an agency, and I'm just a tech nerd. I can't help it. I was up at night learning everything I could. And a few weeks later, I had automated our proposal creation template. I automated some customer service chatbots for my whole team to use. I automated our prospecting, and I had every single person on my team sending emails while they sleep. And sooner or later, the word got out, and I was very popular for coffee dates. People were asking me for Zooms, and I just saw the writing on the wall. And at the same time, I realized that my true passion was helping small business owners. My days building e-commerce websites, my favorite thing was going to work every day, talking to small business owners and entrepreneurs about what they're passionate about and how I could help take away some of the pain points of what website platform to choose, what email marketing automation funnel to choose, and why. So what we bring to the table at Jam AI and what I'm here to do is help small business owners get through all of those things that you have to do to run a business, so that they can really focus on the things that they love and are passionate about, and the reason that they started their business in the first place. So we have so much to dive into today. When creating this presentation specifically, I wasn't sure which tools and things to show because there's just so many, but I'm really excited and I have some really great ones. We'll be starting with going over what AI is. We'll go over some AI chatbots, understand prompt engineering. I'm going to show you some of my favorite AI tools that include all of these things listed here. I do want to say that the other challenge that I run into, especially in large groups like this, is that some of you have never played with any AI tools ever, and you're just very curious and you're here to learn for the very first time. And then some of you might be wanting to say like, hey, Jam, show me some real automation techniques that I can set up for my business. And we do both, but I do want to say that this presentation today will kind of be the tip of the iceberg for all of it. And I'll show you ways to dive deeper. I just want to say one thing. I think AI is here to make us all be more human. I'm a big proponent of this. People are worried or even coming after us saying, hey, AI is taking jobs from all these people. And I don't think it is. I think it is here to help us do the things we don't really want to do and be our assistant rather than our replacement. So really just think about the things that you're doing in your business every day that take up a lot of time. And maybe you're not super passionate about those things. Find out if you can automate it. Write a list, find an AI consultant, and see what you can automate on that list so that you can get back to doing what you want to do. So when I first dove into using AI and really using it on my team, I just realized that our starting point is no longer zero. So where we once were tasked with, let's just say writing a blog, a simple task, right? Writing a blog. We used to have to think of the topic, the audience, the links we would go back to, how it would sound, tone of voice, all of these things. And it would take maybe a day, 2 days to write a really good blog post. Well, now we're at a point where we can start at 87%, 90%. And we can have multiple versions of these blogs as our starting point to work through with our team. It's helping us do so much more, and it's helping us be so much more efficient. But let's start with a question I get asked all the time. What actually is AI? In simple terms, AI is when a computer is doing things that humans used to do. It's when computers start to make decisions. But I'm not going to answer this for you because I've trained my AI avatar to answer this for me, and I need a sip of water. So let's hear what Jam 2 has to say about it.
Let's take a moment to understand what AI, or artificial intelligence, really is. AI refers to machines that can simulate human intelligence, performing tasks like learning, reasoning, and problem solving. There are different types of AI. Narrow AI, which is designed for specific tasks like voice assistants, and general AI, which in theory could perform any intellectual task a human can. Essentially, AI helps us automate routine tasks, personalize experiences, and make smarter decisions. It's a powerful tool that's becoming increasingly important.
Thanks, Jam 2. She's great. She's great for diving deep on really technical things. And she also takes a couple calls from my mother-in-law, once or twice a week. I love you, Judy. Don't tell her that I use my avatar. So chatbots. Chatbot is a word that's been around for quite a while, but the meaning has changed. So when you hear somebody say, hey, what's your favorite chatbot? They're speaking about these types of large language models, which we're now calling chatbots. You may recognize a few of these logos. You'll see the ChatGPT logo, Gemini, Google's Gemini you probably know of. This one here is Perplexity. It's an AI search tool. And then this is a great AI chatbot called Claude. It's by Anthropic. And then this is my favorite, and I'm going to go into all of these in detail in just a few minutes. But first, I want to just talk about how you actually work with chatbots and what they do for you. So especially when you're a small business or entrepreneur, how can you use chatbots at work? You can use them in so many ways. In fact, we have a guide, 100 different ways to use ChatGPT. But this is just a few that are very popular with our members. So you can consult an expert. Say you're creating a contract for a vendor and you're not sure if it's right. You can consult a lawyer. You can create your own writing style chatbot. So basically, you can upload an article and ask it to write a blog in your tone of voice. You can brainstorm sales and pricing strategies. You can create entire sales scripts, social media content. You can create chatbots for customer service, and proposals and presentations is a huge way that we use it. So that little example down there is an example prompt, and prompting is basically how we communicate with these chatbots. So prompting is the conversation starter that you have with a chatbot. So here's 10 examples of prompts that small business owners could try. These have all been tested and we like them all. You do have to upload specific files with these prompts. And yeah, this is what a prompt looks like. In any good prompt, you're going to have these 4 areas. You're going to have clarity. So you're going to want to define the task that you're asking the AI chatbot to perform. You're going to need context. So really help the AI bot understand what it is you're asking. Specificity. Be very specific. Tell it how you'd like that information. Tell it how you'd like the information to sound and how you'd want it to read. You can ask it to put it in a table format or bullet points. You can ask it to create the content in the tone of a cartoon character, whatever you'd like. And then the last one finally is feedback. So oftentimes, and back when ChatGPT was first released, a lot of people were like, meh, this doesn't work. Well, it is a conversation, so give it feedback. I often will go back and forth with my chatbot at least 4 or 5 times before I get what I want. And that's come down a lot from 20 times because my prompts have gotten better and I use an AI training document, which I'm going to show you later. So let's start with an example of a bad prompt. Write a Facebook post for Jam Out AI about AI. It's like, what? Why? It's not giving a lot of clarity or context. It's not thought through. And when it's not thought through, you're going to get information that's not thought through. So it does its best. This one, I used Gemini to get these results, and it's kind of giving me like ad information, and it's messy. It doesn't know my tone of voice. It's not doing too well. So I'll give this a C-. But if you give it a great prompt, so I'm telling it to act as a marketing director with 20 years of experience. So that's a lot of context, right? Like, I want you to act like this person with this much experience. And I'm going to tell it what I want it to do. Create a unique social media post for Jam Out AI about how small business owners can use ChatGPT. That's pretty clear. And now I'm being specific. I want them to use the tone of Mila Kunis and use emojis. Along with this, give me 15 hooks to draw attention to this post. So this did a lot better. It's right up the alley of what I asked for. And it did review my website before giving me this information. So this was an update to ChatGPT about 3-4 months ago. And maybe a little off on that because what is time? But it's a newer edition where you can just go and it'll access the web. For instance, if I tried this on Google Gemini, it always thinks that I'm a musical producer or something because I have Jam Out in my name. So anyways, this is pretty good. But what about an AI training document instead of a prompt? So these are the way to go. On our website in the resources section, and we are going to send you all the links to this. We have an AI training document, and basically it's a little interview that you do. and you fill out information about your business, your customers, your products, your hopes, your dreams, your goals, everything that you want AI chatbots to know about, and it will understand that with the prompt you give it. And so it does take away a little bit of the need to write these enormous long prompts, or you can have these enormous long prompts and back it up with this information, and you'll be getting such amazing answers. So here's an example. I uploaded that document and used that exact same prompt, and it's really using our tone of voice, and it's talking directly to our client base, which is small business owners. So, and it's also not using too many emojis because I have that in my document that I don't like too many. So that is a little bit about prompting. I do want to go into the details of ChatGPT a little bit more. ChatGPT is by far the most used chatbot. It's owned by OpenAI, and I'm just going to show you the inside of it. I have it zoomed in quite a bit. So if you've never used ChatGPT before, welcome. Welcome to 2024, and you got to try it. There is a free version available, and a little tour here. You write your prompt right here. This little paper clip is where you could attach any sort of file, and you can have a lot of great conversations with it. If you click into, let me go to here. If you click into GPTs, so these are kind of what's taken it from 3 stars to 5 stars in the past 4 months or so. So GPTs are basically chats inside ChatGPT that are pre-prompted and trained to do a specific thing. And so I wanted to show you an example of one for the logo creator. Excuse me. So I clicked on this logo creator, and I did do this just a few minutes before we started, just in case of any lag time. But I just wrote, create a logo for a personal chef that specializes in breakfast sushi, because why not? So it asked me a few questions about how I want the logo to look, how detailed, what color palette, do I want one single logo or 9? And it came up with these 9 logos here, which I thought all of them were actually pretty cute for, I don't know if breakfast sushi exists, but it should. And if it does, I'll make your logo. I did give it some feedback, and I asked it to make it more 3D. And so this is the logo that it created. So it's really amazing, especially, just being in the agency world, understanding graphic design and mood boards and all of the work that goes into getting to just this point used to take so long. And now with our AI training document and these GPTs that have been created and trained to do a specific thing, and they're accessible to everyone, is just really amazing. And so you could spend hours and hours in here. There's ways to make a coloring book, learn how to care for your plants. So these are ones that are already created. You can go through, and productivity is probably where our entrepreneurs, business owners will spend the most time. So you don't have to use a GPT. You can just do a prompt as well. So this was a prompt that I like to use, creating a mind map. So if you're ever trying to learn a new concept or create instructions for someone else about something, I like to use this prompt. So in this example, I said, you are a business development specialist. Create a mind map on how to acquire new clients for a pottery studio in Denver, Colorado, using mind map structure that goes 3 levels deep. So this is something that we used to do at an agency I worked for, was mind mapping. And it helped us create a marketing strategy for our clients. And so this just goes 3 levels deep on how a pottery studio could start growing their business based on these things. So that's ChatGPT in a nutshell. There's so much more that you could learn on that. In our AI Club Society at Jamout, we have a whole course called ChatGPT Mastery, where we go into the details of ChatGPT. I also love to use it for social media. So our clients do too. So uploading your setup document, and then just asking it to create 5 days of social media posts for me on popular platforms. You'll see I didn't have to give a big prompt of act as a social media expert, blah, blah, blah. I was just able to upload that and ask because it's using this setup document. You can also see how I asked for it to come out in a table format. And that's so that we can do the next step in automation, which I'm going to show you in just a couple slides. So back to the chatbots. Perplexity is an AI chatbot that I really like. But people don't understand how convoluted their Google search can be. But when you're searching something on Google, the answer you're getting is oftentimes, based on your search history and based on ads, it's not exactly the correct answer. Now, Google search does have Gemini in it now, and so you are able to get that AI search right away. However, this one lets you identify which sources you'd like to search through to get that really like pure information. So for me, I love Reddit. I learn a lot on Reddit. And it turns out a lot of other people do too, because Perplexity was built to have the ability to just search on Reddit. You can also just search educational documents. You can search reports. And the cool part about that is those can be oftentimes pretty technical or go pretty deep. And so with the AI included in the search, you can have it summarize or read through these documents and then give you information back. Perplexity is also free to use. There's a pro version that you need a subscription for. And all of these chatbots that I'm showing you have at least a free trial. You will get cut off after a certain amount of tokens used or conversations. So just keep that in mind. The next one I want to talk about is Claude. Claude is built by a company called Anthropic, and they're really built to be fair and just and to remove any sort of bias when people are creating contracts or any content, not just contracts. It removes bias from the content that you're creating. And it's really, really amazing to work with large content volume on these. And so you can upload an entire book, so an entire PDF of a book, and have a conversation about that book. So for example, if you are reading a book that has sales strategies in it, you could upload the PDF of that book if you were able to get it off of Kindle or whatever you're using. And you could say, hey, how could these sales strategies or the ideas in this book apply to my business? And really make it about you. And it's a really great way to explore large content PDFs or books or anything like that. I have a PDF just on sales processes that I've been using forever. I went through the Northwestern Kellogg sales training a few years ago. And as part of that course, they just gave me like a 5,000 page document. And so I like to upload that and ask questions about it and research with it. So that's what Claude is all about. So Pi is your personal AI, and it's kind of like a little therapist in your pocket. It gives you a lot of advice. You can talk to it about finances. You can talk to it about relationships. You can just say like, hey, in this example, I'm feeling burnt out. I'm losing my passion. What are some tips you can give me? It's very supportive. It also has a really neat aspect where it has an app that you can use on your phone. And you can actually just have conversations with Pi. And you could choose the voice you're talking to. You can pick a man or a woman or, just a man or a woman. And you can really have these like in-depth conversations with somebody on the phone. And it's really, really nice to have that. Just as an example, we had to put our dog down last April after 15 years. It was really horrible. But I was really concerned about how am I going to tell my kids about this? How are they going to take it? How should I tell them in general? And it actually came up with the idea of creating like a coloring book of who Kevin was, his life, and then some things they'll miss about him. And it was really nice. It's not something I would have come up with. Unfortunately, I'm a pretty straightforward person, and so I actually needed that in that moment. Definitely suggest you all try it out. The next one here is Gemini, and this is Google's chatbot. It does integrate into the Google Suite. And so if you use Gmail or any sort of those documents inside of Google Suite, you can use Gemini inside of it. And so how we like to use this is if, again, you have a large summary or a large document that maybe one of your clients sends you, you can have Gemini just sum it up inside the document. I like to use it in my Gmail. Some people are a little hesitant of that, but you can say things like, hey, Gemini, when did John say our next meeting should be for this next client? And it'll look through my Gmail and send me that date. So that's how I like to use it. This example, it's going through showing me ideas to identify different swag ideas. And in this example, it thought Jam AI was again, music production company. And I like to leave things in when it's not right, because I'm all about being transparent. Not every tool is great. Not every tool is working exactly. But I don't think Gemini is built to do the same type of things that ChatGPT is doing. So feel free to try it out. The trend in 2024 right now is multimodal LLMs. There's a lot of these out here. This is the one that we have at Jam AI. And so it's one platform where you can use all of those chatbots. And so it's kind of cool just to like select one and then put in the prompt and then select another one with that same prompt and just see the different type of content that you'll get back. I'm going to go over what these are in just a little bit, but that's what multimodal LLMs are. So I want to dive into some of my favorite tools and some of our members' favorite tools. So what you just saw there were AI assistants, and I'm sure you've seen ads or information about AI assistants all over the place. The first way to use them, no matter if it's our platform or anyone else's, you do have to have that AI training document. So as I mentioned before, that's vital. So, and then you'll need access to AI assistants. And so we have over 30 different AI assistants that are built basically for small businesses and entrepreneurs. Many of these have been trained with documents from score.org and multiple other amazing nonprofit organizations that have resources available. And then some of these are trained by other professionals in the space. And so it's really interesting to use like the TikTok hook creator. I think I have an example of that one here. Yeah, it's trained on the best practices for creating TikTok hooks right now. And TikTok is something we talk about a lot in our membership portal because a lot of people want to use it, but not a lot of people want to do the videos. And so if we can do the hard lift of creating the content, and then we'll even teach people how to create avatars of themselves to do the TikToks themselves. But all of these AI assistants are trained to do that one thing really well. So you can think of them as little employees for your business that do one thing really well. So as long as you have that training document, you can continue to ask them to do the thing that they're programmed to do. So if we're creating all of this content, where is it all going? It doesn't really help to just have, thousands of social media posts written. So what I like to do is I use Canva, And there's a few other ways to do this, but I like Canva because it's a non-technical way to do this. So I just copied my table of prompts and I'm just creating a new spreadsheet where I just simply paste them in. And I'm going to save this. I'll name it and I'll save it as a CSV file. And that's all you do. Super easy. So it's saved on my computer. And then I go over to Canva. If you haven't used Canva yet, what are you doing? Get in there. Canva is a great tool for,
Jam has gone off screen. She'll be right back. And while we wait for Jam to come back on, Luis, I saw you come back on camera right on time. So we're just going to take a little detour. We were going to wait to have Luis speak a little bit later, but I think we'll go ahead and do that now, Luis, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I wanted to ask you, because as you all might remember, Luis has helped over a thousand business owners. So I want to ask you, how do you see AI as like helping small business owners when it comes to time saving?
Honestly, it's a really good question. So a lot of the clients that I'm currently working with, right, as far as like entrepreneurs, right, whether they're like pre-startups, right, or fairly established businesses, kind of like what Jam alluded earlier, is the best way that I've seen a lot of clients implement AI into their own businesses is primarily through like, time saving mechanisms, right? So one thing that she did reference was the AI assistant, right? That has been a very popular tool that I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs use, right? Having someone that can look at all of your emails for the day and point out these are the emails that you should be really looking at or focusing on, right? Versus which ones are just like spam, right? Um, that has been like very useful, like very useful for a lot of entrepreneurs because it has saved a lot of time for them. And especially a lot of more superficial tasks right now are very popular as well. So what I see a lot as well is kind of like marketing drafts, right? Social media posts, right? Even kind of like small updates to like your website, different color schemes, different logos, pictures, right? A lot of that more superficial work has been adopted a lot by a lot of businesses right now, right? The one thing that I see a lot of business owners kind of like refrain or they aren't like pushing it as much is, for example, going into something that's a little bit more deeper, like, oh, can an AI do my bookkeeping? It could if you train it, right? But if you don't train it the right way, then what you could get, it could be incorrect, right? So it really just depends on kind of like the input. So the deeper the inputs you have to do, right? The more training you have to give someone to say like, this is how I manage my books, right? Um, the more deeper you have to go into that, obviously the AI does have to learn as well, right? So what it could spit out, it could be right, but it also could be wrong, right? So you want to be very careful with that, right? But where I see a lot of success right now is more on the superficial side of things, right? Creating messaging, marketing, product, packaging. I've seen a lot of different stuff, but very superficial level stuff as well. And I see Jam is back.
oh my gosh, I am so sorry. That was horrible.
No, it's just, you know what, it's par for the course when you're doing something tech. So why don't we jump back into it? Thank you so much, Luis, for coming out, and we will get back into the presentation. So let's see.
I think my computer got scared by all my AI and just had to turn off, apparently.
It didn't want you sharing the information.
No, it was like, stop showing everyone this stuff. So, all right. Well, I was showing y'all how we can use Canva to actually post the content that we're creating. So here's a little inside view. So if you're not using Canva, what are you doing? Obviously, my entire presentation is created in it. It's built with.
Oh, so sorry to interrupt. Would
Yeah.
you mind making it a little bigger? We're seeing it like in,
Oh, yeah.
in the presentation or inside the Canvas screen. Oh, I see.
You're
I-
actually.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
No,
so
you're
much.
good.
Okay.
All right. So there's tons of different templates inside of Canva that you can choose from. And in this one, I'm just going to choose this random one. And you can go ahead to apps over there on the left-hand side. See where it says apps, and we can actually connect our content from that spreadsheet that we created and bring all of that content in to create specific posts. And so in this example, I have 20 different ones I'm going to make, but we could generate, 1,000 different designs at once. And the cool thing about Canva is that it has all of our brand and all of our imagery, because obviously we're not going to want this airplane wing on every single post. So we go ahead and just drag over different images from whatever it is that we want, and it'll create multiple different posts just all in one document. And you can go ahead and share it directly from Canva as well. So this is a really great way to automate all of your social media posting. I do have to go through this way because unfortunately now I'm down to one screen. So when you saw me create my avatar before of Jam 2 explaining what AI was, I was actually using something called Hey Gen. And Hey Gen is really cool. It's an entire program that will take either your face, but if you don't want to use your face, they have multiple AI models that you can use to create a lot of different social media videos or training courses or things like that. So they also have translation. Do you want to see me speak Mandarin?
你好，我是詹姆，我正在寻找保姆加入我们的机。
That's that example. I lost a few minutes here, so I'm going to show you just a couple of my other favorite things, because I know we want to save time for question and answer. I'm sure all of you use a ton of Zoom, and Brittany even mentioned that she's seen this before, but I want to explain how to use it in a different way. So this is called Fathom AI, and it's actually a AI for your Zoom meetings that you have. And what I love about it is after the Zoom, it'll give you a full transcript of the meeting. And then I like to upload that PDF into ChatGPT and then have it create either content for services I need to do for that client from that meeting. So maybe it's a mood board, or maybe it's a proposal, or just create content for follow-ups for that next meeting. So it's a really interesting way of how you could do that. People are always interested in how to generate images. We like to use Midjourney. Midjourney is an amazing tool, and it's inside a place called Discord. So you do have to have a membership to it. But if you'll notice, like these prompts, they tell you what type of camera to use or lens and resolution, and you can come up with really, really amazing high quality images. This is how they come through. They develop like a little fuzzy, and they start developing a little bit at a time. But it takes about 3 minutes to develop an amazing image that you can use on your website, in ads, anywhere you need. You'll notice our entire website was built with different AI images that we've created. Again, I want to get to your question, so I'm going to skip the video part. I do just want to say there is so much to learn. There's not a great starting point out there of saying like, hey, this is where you start, this is where you end. We do have 3 ways to work together. Our AI Club Society is our most common place to start. It's 8 different courses with over 50 different modules on how to use AI for sales, marketing, websites, image creation, and how to dive into ChatGPT further. Jam-Packed Bootcamp is a 4-week bootcamp. We have one starting in October, and it's all about setting a great foundation for your technical side of your business, so platforms and tools, but then also implementing those tried and true sales and marketing strategies. And then finally, we have our platform with our AI assistants, and those are really, really fun to use and great to work with. So just want to say thank you, and I apologize for that small computer issue, and I will re-record this for all of you, and hopefully we have some good questions coming in.
Yeah, that is great. Thank you so much, Jam. And I see some folks who are interested in the video portion, so that is great as well. If we have a little bit of time, maybe we'll come back to that. But there are also a lot of really good questions in the chat, so we'll get Luis coming back, and we'll go through some of our questions. So we appreciate everyone's flexibility because we kind of jumped in a little bit. So we already asked Luis about, how you see business owners using it when it comes to saving time. But I also wanted your take on balancing AI automation with the need for genuine human interaction when it comes to small businesses.
Yeah, of course, Brittany. So I think like I guess like one of the big things that you want to ask yourself, right? Especially if you're creating any kind of content with AI, right? Is are you setting the prompts well enough, and are you training the AI enough where whatever you're spitting out is, it's sounding like you, right? It's sounding like you. It's like, hey, this is definitely Louis saying this, right? Versus, oh, I think this is like, maybe this is an AI saying this, because you can clearly see both, right? I've had friends that run businesses where they showed me something that they sent out. I could have sworn that it was them doing it, right? And it was like perfect. It was seamless. It was talking about their product perfectly in a way that it was like, you did this, right? And I was like, no, my AI actually did that. I was like, what? It's crazy, right? It's really crazy. But in the other side of things, I've also seen from like clients that are still like dabbling in AI, right? Where it's like, I sent this out to my clients and I looked at it and I was like, ooh, like we need to work on this, right? It's like
Yeah.
you need to connect with Jam like immediately. So there's definitely a difference, right? And you can definitely tell, right? But I think at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, people want a genuine experience, right? So the more genuine you can make it, obviously it's going to be better for you long term, right? Because as soon as people see that it might not be you, then like, what else is fake about your business, right? And that's kind of like one of the big questions that you want to like ask yourself, and definitely stay away from that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good point in like investing the time and energy or finding the right tool so it really feels like authentic and genuine, because it is, because you've taught it to kind of interact like you. Okay, Jam, lots of questions about, like conversations and like everything. Once we talk with these chatbots or AIs, where do
Mhm.
those conversations go? Like,
Yeah, good question.
yeah.
Good question. Yeah, there's a lot of rules, and there should be rules around, should I put my client's personal information into chatbots? So what the information is actually going to train the chatbot. So whatever you write in there, I can't go search and say like, okay, what is Bruce Nelson putting into his chatbot, and I'm gonna go read it. That's not a thing. What you're doing is you're training the chatbot, and all of the data that you're putting into ChatGPT goes to OpenAI, and they can use it however they want to train the chatbots. That being said, there are ways to create completely SOC 2 compliant private interfaces with ChatGPT by creating a copy of the ChatGPT database into a private server. And so if that's something that your company wants to do, then you need to find an AI consultant or a technical partner that can do that for you. Otherwise, you don't need to worry too much about what you're putting into the chatbot and where it's going to go. It's not going to show up on Google.
So it won't show up on Google, but it is sent to like teach the AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. The rule that I teach people is like, don't put in credit card numbers, don't put in your personal social security or address, but putting in your client's name or website is fine.
okay, so like kind of that easily accessible stuff that maybe you'd be able to search.
Yeah.
That's super helpful. But if you were
Exactly.
wanting something that was secure and like completely like compliant, then you'd have to kind of design your own that's on a closed.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And we have some partners that do that. So if you're interested, shoot me a note.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so a lot of people were wondering when you were showing us ChatGPT and the other GPTs, were you using the free version or the paid version?
Yeah, great question. So as of just a few months ago, you can use the GPTs in the free version. You just cannot create your own. And so you have to have the paid version to create your own GPTs.
Okay, got it. So you
Yep.
can use those GPTs in the free version, which is great.
Mhm.
Okay, this next question, I believe is for Jam again. Don't worry, Luis, we love you. Just we've got
I'm a student as well, so I am happy.
same. Okay, if we were going to choose only one AI tool, Jam, where should we start? What would you recommend?
I think ChatGPT is just the easiest, best place to start. It's easy to use. It's the most widely used. There's a lot of documentation out there on prompting and how to use it. So I would say start with ChatGPT.
Got it. Okay. And then we have a lot of questions about the video because if are we correct in saying that first video of you was an AI video of you, right?
Yeah, yep. So that's my avatar. And I have a few people that work at Jam AI that want to create more content. And unfortunately, they don't want to be on camera, and I don't have that much time. So they use my avatar to create training courses or webinars or email updates. And yeah, that was not me. And the cool part is I don't have roots in that, and I never will, because an avatar doesn't have to get her hair done.
That is so funny. I love it. So, what app again did you use to create that? Because some folks are interested in having like a video avatar, but having them hold like a specific product or do a specific thing for their business.
Yeah, so that one was called Hey Gen, heygen.ai. And I do have a link to that in our resources page as well. There's another one that I'm exploring right now called D-ID. And they have one where you can make yourself a chatbot. And so it's like people are chatting with you and you respond. So I've been playing with that one, and I'll share more information on that too through our newsletter.
Hey, very cool. Yes, and Emma dropped that in the chat. And then we also have a really wonderful web page that Jem has on her site that has all of the different resources that you can just like click and explore a little more if you want that. So we'll share that link in a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So let's see. My next question. Okay, is about ChatGPT and the history from the conversation. So if I have one conversation let's say helping me figure out my target audience, and then another one that's like, can you help me write a blog? Does ChatGPT remember my previous conversations with it?
Yes. So you'll have a sidebar with all your previous conversations. So mine's really fun to go back to. I've had it for so long, and I'll still go back to a conversation I had a year ago because I'll come up with an idea and be like, wait, I already had this idea, and go back, and then I'm not starting at zero with that idea. So yeah, it remembers it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then any recommendations for an AI that actually edits videos for you?
So that is something that everybody wants. I don't have a good recommendation for video editing. There is something called Opus Clip, and Opus Clip is the closest thing to it. So you can upload any sort of URL, and it'll create edits for you or segments of that video, and you can customize those segments. Um, I don't find it very easy to use is my only complaint. So that's why I don't have it in my presentations or on our website right now. But it's called, yeah, Opus Clip, OPUS Clip.
Opus Clip. Okay, great. And thank you for that.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Thanks,
that
Emma.
context. It is helpful to kind of know because there's just so many types out there, it seems like
Yeah.
that yeah, it's it's good to know which ones are good, and which ones maybe you can invest a little bit more time in. Okay,
Yep.
just looking through some more of our questions. Ooh, this one is asking about AI and its work with like statistics or marketing effectiveness. So kind of using AI as like a reflective tool. Did
Oh,
that
yeah.
work? Do you have any recommendations or can you use it for those things?
Yeah, actually, one of the modules in our ChatGPT Mastery is all about using it for data. And so again, it goes back to prompting and making sure you have a good prompt of what you're asking it to do. But I personally, the end of every month, I'm a numbers person. I put in all of our analytics from our website, any of our ads, personal goals that we have on the team, and I have it analyze all of the data. The fun part is it can create charts too. So any sort of charts I didn't even know about. Once I asked it what type of charts it could make for me, it makes bubble charts, line charts. So yeah, it's a great assistant for any sort of data entry. Also, I use it all the time for cleaning spreadsheets. You can say you have a column that is all messed up or you want it reordered in a certain way and you don't have all the time to do it, you can upload it and ask it to clean your spreadsheets and get them back. It'll send you a link back.
That is really, really cool. I
Yeah.
love that you can like have it kind of do some of that back end work. Now there's a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
questions. Okay. So I see a lot of folks who are asking about like how they can connect with Louise. So like I want to just do a brief plug and give Jam a little breather. So I want to do a plug for the coaching hub. So if you are looking for specific support around like marketing or business strategy, accessing capital, things like that for your business, and you really want someone to like one-on-one have that conversation, because we know we have so many of y'all in the audience and we can't get to every single question because AI, I feel like we could talk about it for 3 days and still not really get into it. But we're going to drop a link that is for the AOF Coaching Hub. So the Coaching Hub is completely free. You can just click on there. You can decide where you feel like you need support with, and you can schedule a free session with one of our coaches. So we also have an access to capital group coaching a webinar every couple weeks. So Luis, would you mind sharing just a little bit about that for folks in the audience who are maybe interested?
Yeah, so just a quick summary. We do have group sessions where we're essentially just helping people understand how to access capital, right? Where to go to access capital, how to prepare for it. Basically, all of the fundamental questions as far as like how do I become capital ready and where do I go to apply, right? Whether it's with us or with like a bank or with like other nonprofits as well, we give you like a lot of information. So yeah, quick plug.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And we are at the top of the hour. We do really appreciate you all being here and being flexible with our fun tech things, because that's just one of the things we live through these days. Thank you to Jam so much for your expertise. Thank you to Louise for joining and sharing. And we will see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah,
Bye. Thank
thank
you
you,
so
everyone.
much.